Let us understand what a comeback truly is. It is not merely a return to a former state of glory or success. No, my dear friends, a true comeback is a complete rebirth, a total transformation of your being. It is the realization of your divine nature, the awakening to the God within you that has been sleeping, waiting for this very moment to arise and claim its rightful place in your consciousness. You see, the world you perceive around you is nothing but a reflection of your own consciousness. Every circumstance, every person, every event in your life is but an outpicturing of your inner state. And it is this fundamental truth that holds the key to your greatest comeback. Many of you sit here today, perhaps feeling defeated, worn down by life's challenges, or simply yearning for something more. You may look at your current circumstances and wonder, how can I possibly make a comeback from this? But I tell you now, with absolute that the power to transform your life lies within you at this very moment. The secret, my friends, is this: you must first make your comeback in your imagination. For your imagination is not some fanciful toy of the mind, but the very workshop of God. It is the creative power of the universe, given to you to shape and mold your reality as you see fit. Consider for a moment the life you truly desire. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Feel the emotions associated with living that life. Experience the joy, the fulfillment, the sense of purpose that comes with it. This is not mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. This is the first step in making your greatest comeback a reality. For you see, when you imagine yourself in the state of your desired comeback, you are actually experiencing that reality in a dimension beyond time and space. In that realm, your comeback has already happened. You have already triumphed. You have already become the person you aspire to be. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, how can simply imagining something make it real? And to that I say, everything in this world was once imagined before it became manifest. The clothes you wear, the chair you sit on, the very building we're in, all of these were first conceived in someone's imagination before they took physical form. Your life is no different. It is a product of your imagination, whether you have been conscious of it or not. Every experience you've had, every circumstance you find yourself in, is the result of the stage you have occupied in your imagination. So if you want to make your biggest comeback, you must first experience it fully in your imagination. You must live from the end, as if your comeback has already occurred. This is the art of revision, of rewriting your story not as it appears to be, but as you wish it to be. Let me share with you a simple technique to aid you in this process. Tonight, as you lay your head upon your pillow, close your eyes and imagine a scene that would imply your comeback is complete. Perhaps it's a conversation with a friend congratulating you on your success. Maybe it's the feeling of standing on a stage, receiving an award for your achievements. Or it could be as simple as looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing the confident, fulfilled person you've become. Whatever scene you choose, make it as vivid and real as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the emotions associated with this achievement. And most importantly, have the sense of naturalness about it, as if this is simply who you are and how your life is. As you fall asleep in this state, you are impressing this new reality upon your subconscious mind. And your subconscious, my friends, is the hidden operator that shapes your outer world. It knows no limitations, no obstacles. It will work tirelessly to bring about the conditions necessary for your imagined state to become your physical reality. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but what about action? Don't we need to do something to make our comeback a reality? And to that I say, of course, action is part of the process. But it is inspired action, action that flows naturally from your new state of consciousness. You see, when you truly live from the end in your imagination, when you fully embody the state of your desired comeback, your actions will automatically align with that reality. You will find yourself naturally doing the things that someone in that state would do. Opportunities will present themselves, and you will be inspired to take advantage of them. This is the true meaning of the biblical phrase, faith without works is dead. Your faith, which is nothing more than your persistent imagination of the desired state, will inevitably lead to works. But these works are not the cause of your comeback. They are the effect. Let me illustrate this with a story. There was once a man who had lost everything: his business, his savings, his reputation. He was, by all outward appearances, a failure. But this man understood the power of imagination. Every night he would fall asleep imagining himself as a successful businessman once again. He would feel the satisfaction of running a thriving company, the joy of providing for his family, the pride of having rebuilt his reputation. At first, nothing seemed to change in his outer world, but he persisted in his imaginal act, night after night. Then one day he had an idea for a new business venture. It seemed to come out of nowhere, but in reality, it was the natural outgrowth of his new state of consciousness. He pursued this idea with enthusiasm, and within a year, he had not only regained his former success, but had far surpassed it. This, my friends, is the pattern of all great comebacks. They begin in the imagination, take root in the subconscious, and then bloom in the outer world. Your job is not to figure out how your comeback will happen, but to live so completely in the end result that it has no choice but to manifest. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of your being, for this is crucial to understanding how you'll come to make your biggest comeback. You are not merely a physical body, limited by time and space. You are a divine being, a spark of the infinite consciousness that creates and sustains all of existence. Your true self is not bound by your past experiences or your current circumstances. It exists in a state of pure potential, capable of expressing itself in infinite ways. When you grasp this truth, truly grasp it, you will understand that there are no limits to the comeback you can make. Think about it. If you are in essence the very power that creates worlds, what comeback could possibly be beyond your reach? The only limits that exist are those you have accepted in your own mind. And what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So I ask you now, what is the grandest vision you have for your comeback? What is the most magnificent expression of your potential that you can imagine? Allow yourself to dream big, for the universe knows no distinction between small dreams and large ones. To the infinite, all things are equally possible. Perhaps your comeback involves becoming a leader in your field, revolutionizing an industry, or creating a work of art that touches millions of lives. Maybe it's about healing a relationship that seemed beyond repair, or finding a level of inner peace and fulfillment never think. Whatever it is, know that it is within your power to achieve it. But remember, the key is not just to think about your comeback, or to wish for it, but to experience it fully in your imagination. You must feel the reality of it with every fiber of your being. You must walk, talk, and breathe as the person who has already made this comeback. This may seem challenging at first, especially if your current circumstances seem far removed from your desired state. But I assure you, with practice, it will become second nature. And as you persist in this practice, you will begin to see your outer world shift to match your inner experience. Now, let me address a concern that often arises when discussing this principle. Some of you may be wondering, what about other people? Don't they have a say in my comeback? And to that I say, the people and circumstances in your life are not separate from you. They are reflections of your consciousness, playing the parts you have assigned to them in the drama of your life. As you change your concept of yourself, as you live from the state of your completed comeback, you will find that others naturally adjust to support your new reality. Those who cannot align with your new state will fade from your experience, while new individuals who resonate with your achieved comeback will enter your life. This is not manipulation or control of others. It is simply the law of your own being. You are the author of your life story, and as you rewrite that story in your imagination, the characters and settings will naturally adapt to fit the new narrative. Consider the example of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. As the caterpillar undergoes its metamorphosis, its entire world changes. It no longer relates to its environment in the same way. Its food, its habitat, its very way of being shifts dramatically. Yet this transformation doesn't require the caterpillar to manipulate its surroundings. The change happens from within, and the outer world naturally conforms to support the new state of being. Your comeback is no different. As you transform internally, embodying the state of your achieved comeback, your world will rearrange itself to support this new you. This is the true meaning of the phrase, when the student is ready, the teacher appears when you are ready. When you have fully assumed the state of your comeback, in your imagination, all that you need to support that state will appear in your life. Now let's address another vital aspect of making your biggest comeback, the role of persistence. You see, the power of your imagination is absolute, but the manifestation of your imagined state in the physical still world often requires time. The seed you plant in your subconscious mind through your imaginal acts needs time to germinate and grow. During this period, it may seem as though nothing is happening. Your outer world may appear unchanged, or you may even face challenges that seem to contradict your desired outcome. This is the time when many people give up, concluding that their imaginal work didn't work. But I tell you now, this is precisely the time when you must persist most fervently in your imaginal acts. Remember, your senses show you the world as it is, not as it will be. They reflect the harvest of seeds planted in the past. Your imagination, on the other hand, is planting new seeds for future harvests. You must have the faith to water these seeds with your continued attention and belief, even when there is no physical evidence of growth. Think of it like this. If you were to plant a seed in your garden, you wouldn't dig it up every day to see if it's growing, would you? No, you would plant the seed, water it regularly, and trust in the natural process of growth. Your imaginal act is the seed. Your persistence in living from the end is the water and sunlight. And your faith is the fertile soil in which this seed will grow. So how do you maintain this persistence? How do you continue to live from the end when your senses scream that nothing has changed? The key is to fall in love with your imagined state. Make it so real, so vivid, so delightful that you prefer it to your current reality. Immerse yourself in it so completely that you almost forget your former state. This is not about escaping reality or deluding yourself. It's about understanding that your imagination is the most real, most causative dimension of your being. It is the dimension where all change begins. By living there, by making your home in the state of your completed comeback, you set in motion the forces that will bring it into the physical manifestation. Let me share with you another technique to aid in this persistence. Throughout your day, whenever you have a quiet moment, ask yourself this question: how would I feel right now if my comeback were complete then? Allow yourself to feel those emotions fully. Feel the confidence, the joy, the sense of accomplishment. Let these feelings permeate your entire being. This practice serves two purposes. First, it keeps you aligned with the state of your desired comeback throughout your day, not just during your dedicated imaginal sessions. Second, it trains your mind to focus on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, rather than the absence of what you desire. Remember, what you focus on expands. By consistently focusing on the feeling of your achieved comeback, you amplify its reality in your consciousness. Now, let's address a common pitfall that many encounter on the path to their comeback: the temptation to share their vision prematurely. In your excitement about your imagined state, you may feel compelled to tell others about your plans for a comeback. I caution you against this. You see, your imaginal act is a sacred thing. It is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Exposing this tender seedling to the harsh light of others' opinions and doubts can wither it before it has a chance to take root. Moreover, speaking about your comeback as a future event reinforces its status as something you lack, rather than something you have already achieved in your imagination. Instead, I encourage you to nurture your vision in the quiet of your own consciousness. Let it grow strong and vital within you. When others begin to see the fruits of your comeback manifesting in your life, they will ask you about it. And then, if you choose, you can share your story as a testament to the power of imagination. This principle of silence is beautifully illustrated in the biblical story of Mary, the mother of Jesus after the Annunciation, when she was told she would bear the Son of God. The scripture says, "But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart." She didn't rush to tell everyone about the miraculous event that was to come. She held it within, allowing it to gestate both physically and spiritually. Your comeback is your own personal annunciation. It is the divine speaking to you, revealing the greatness that you are capable of manifesting. Honor it with your silence, nurture it with your unwavering belief, and watch as it comes to fruition in ways that will astonish you. As we continue our exploration of making your biggest comeback, let us turn our attention to another crucial aspect: the release of your past. Many of you may be carrying the weight of past failures, disappointments, or traumas. These experiences can seem like insurmountable obstacles to your comeback, but I tell you now, they are only obstacles if you allow them to be. You see, your past has no power over you except the power you give it through your attention and belief. The events of your past are not fixed, immutable facts. They are simply states you once occupied in consciousness, and just as you entered those states, you have the power to leave them behind. This is where the art of revision comes into play. Revision is not about denying what happened, but about reinterpreting it in a way that serves your desired state. It's about extracting the gift, the lesson, the growth opportunity from every experience, no matter how painful it might have been. Let me give you a practical exercise in revision. Tonight, before you sleep, review the events of your day. But instead of simply recalling what happened, reimagine them as you would have liked them to be. If you had a disagreement with someone, reimagine it as a harmonious interaction. If you faced a challenge at work, reimagine yourself handling it with ease and confidence. As you do this, you're not changing the past in a literal sense. What you're doing is far more powerful. You're changing your relationship to the past. You're rewriting the story in your subconscious mind, creating new patterns of thought and behavior that will shape your future experiences. This practice of revision can be extended to any event in your past that you feel is holding you back from your comeback. Perhaps there was a business venture that failed, a relationship that ended painfully, or a missed opportunity that you've been regretting. Take each of these experiences and revise them in your imagination. See them playing out in a way that supports your comeback. For instance, if you had a business failure in the past, reimagine it as a valuable learning experience that prepared you for your current success. If a relationship ended, see it as clearing the way for a more fulfilling partnership. If you missed an opportunity, imagine that an even better opportunity arose as a result. As you practice this revision, you'll find that your past loses its grip on you. It no longer defines you or limits you. Instead, it becomes a rich tapestry of experiences, all contributing to your growth and ultimate comeback. Remember, time is a construct of consciousness. In the realm of imagination, which is your true home, all times exist simultaneously. This means that your past, present, and future are all accessible and changeable from the eternal now of your consciousness. By revising your past, you are literally creating a new platform from which to launch your comeback. Now let's delve into another powerful concept that will aid you in making your biggest comeback, the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a certain state to be true and persist in that assumption, it must harden into fact in your ficting or physical reality. This means that to make your comeback, you must assume the state of having already made that comeback. You must think from it, not of it. There's a crucial difference here. Thinking of your comeback places it in the future, always just out of reach. Thinking from your comeback means embodying it fully in the present moment. How do you do this? Begin by asking yourself, if I had already made my biggest comeback, how would I think? How would I feel? How would I carry myself? What would my daily routines look like? Then start living as if these things were already true. If your comeback involves becoming a successful entrepreneur, start setting your alarm as if you had important meetings to attend. Dress as if you were already leading a thriving company. Speak with the confidence of someone who has already achieved great success. If your comeback is about regaining your health and vitality, start eating and moving as if you were already in peak physical condition. Go to bed early as if you valued your rest. Look in the mirror and see the vibrant, healthy person you are becoming. This might feel like pretending at first, and in a sense it is. But remember, all of physical reality began as a pretense in someone's imagination. Your current circumstances, which seem so solid and real, were once just a state assumed in consciousness. As you persist in assuming your new state, you will begin to notice subtle shifts in your outer world. People may start treating you differently. Opportunities that align with your assumed state will begin to appear. You'll find yourself naturally taking actions that support your comeback. This is the bridge of incidents, a series of events that leads from your current state to your desired state. You don't need to plan this bridge or figure out how it will be built. Your only job is to stay faithful to your assumed state, and the bridge will form beneath your feet as you walk. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, what if I assume this state and nothing happens? What if I fail to this? I say failure is impossible if you persist in your assumption. What appears as failure is simply a moment in time, a point on the bridge of incidents. It's not the end of the story unless you decide it is. Remember, the only place where your comeback can be aborted is in your own imagination. As long as you hold true to your assumed state, as long as you continue to live from the end, your comeback is inevitable. It must come to pass, for that is the law of your being. Let me share a story to illustrate this point. There was once a man who dreamed of becoming a great actor. He assumed the state of being a celebrated performer, living from it day and night in his imagination. He went to auditions, confident in his assumed state, but faced rejection after rejection. Many would have given up at this point, concluding that their imaginal act had failed. But this man persisted. He continued to live from the state of being a successful actor, even as he worked menial jobs to support himself. He treated each rejection as merely a scene in the movie of his life, knowing that the grand finale would be his ultimate success. And indeed, after years of persistence, he got his big break. Today, he is one of the most recognized and respected actors in the world. This man's story is a testament to the power of persistent assumption. He did not allow temporary setbacks to dislodge him from his assumed state. He knew that his outer world had to conform to his inner conviction eventually. And so it did. Your comeback story can be just as powerful, just as inspiring. But it requires the same level of persistence, the same unshakable faith in your assumed state. No matter what your senses tell you, no matter what challenges you face, you must continue to live from the state of your completed comeback. This persistence is not about gritting your teeth and pushing through difficulty. It's about so falling in love with your assumed state that you cannot bear to leave it. It's about making your imagined reality so vivid, so real, so delightful that it eclipses your current circumstances. As you continue on this journey of making your biggest comeback, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing, the feeling of impatience. You may find yourself constantly looking for signs that your comeback is manifesting, anxiously waiting for your outer world to catch up with your core. This impatience, my dear friends, is one of the greatest obstacles to the realization of your desires. You see, impatience implies lack. When you are impatient for your comeback to manifest, you are affirming that you do not have it now. This puts you in a state of wanting rather than a state of having. And the universe, which knows only how to match your inner state, will continue to give you more of that wanting. The key is to cultivate a sense of calm assurance. Know that your comeback is already complete in the realm of imagination, which is the only true reality. Your three-dimensional world is merely catching up to what is already finished in consciousness. Think of it like this: when you plant a seed in the ground, you stand over it day after day, impatiently waiting for it to sprout. No, you plant the seed and then go about your life, trusting in the natural process of growth. You don't doubt that the seed will grow just because you can't see what's happening beneath the soil. Your imaginal act is like that seed. Once you have planted it in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, through your assumption of the state of your completed comeback, your work is done. Now you must allow it the time and space to germinate and grow. This doesn't mean you become passive. Rather, you continue to live from your assumed state, taking inspired action when it presents itself, but without anxiety or impatience. You move through your days with the calm confidence of someone who knows their good is already secured. To help you cultivate this attitude, I offer you this simple practice. Whenever you find yourself feeling impatient or anxious about your comeback, pause and take a deep breath. Then say to yourself, my comeback is already complete. I am experiencing it now in my imagination. And I know that my outer world must conform to this inner reality. I relax and allow this process to unfold in its perfect timing. By affirming this truth and releasing your attachment to when and how your comeback will manifest, you open yourself to receive it. You create a state of receptivity in your consciousness, allowing your good to flow to you unimpeded by doubt or impatience. Now let us explore another vital aspect of making your biggest comeback: the release of limiting beliefs. Each of you carries within you a set of beliefs about yourself and the world. These beliefs, whether you're conscious of them or not, shape your experiences and determine the extent of your comeback. Many of these beliefs were formed in childhood or through past experiences, and they may no longer serve you. Beliefs like "I'm not good enough," "success is hard," or "I always fail in the end" can act as invisible barriers to your comeback. The good news is that beliefs are not fact. They are simply thoughts that you have thought so often that they have become habitual. And just as you form these beliefs, you have the power to change them. The first step in changing a limiting belief is to become aware of it. Pay attention to your self-talk, to the thoughts that run through your mind when you think about your comeback. When you notice a thought that doesn't align with your desired state, pause and question it. Is it really true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? How does believing this thought make you feel? Who would you be without this thought? Once you've identified a limiting belief, you can begin to replace it with empowering belief that supports your comeback. For instance, if you've been holding the belief "I'm not good enough," you might replace it with "I am more than enough. And I have all the resources within me to make my biggest comeback." Remember, your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. By consistently thinking and feeling from your new belief, you impress it upon your subconscious, and it begins to manifest in your outer world. This process of changing beliefs is not always easy. You may encounter resistance from your old patterns of thinking. But persist, my friends. Every time you choose your new belief over the old one, you weaken the old neural pathway and strengthen the new one. Over time, your new empowering belief will become as natural and automatic as the old one once was. As you work on releasing limiting beliefs, you may find that certain people or situations in your life seem to challenge your new state. Perhaps family members or friends express doubt about your ability to make a comeback. Or maybe circumstances arise that appear to contradict your assumed state. In these moments, remember this fundamental truth: everyone and everything in your world is you pushed out. The doubts expressed by others are merely reflections of your own doubts. The challenging circumstances are opportunities for you to strengthen your faith in your assumed state. Instead of reacting to these seeming obstacles, use them as opportunities to deepen your commitment to your new state. When someone expresses doubt, silently reaffirm your belief in your comeback. When a challenging situation arises, ask yourself, how would I handle this if my comeback were already complete? Then act from that state. By doing this, you are not only reinforcing your new state in your own consciousness, but you are also transforming the consciousness of those around you. Remember, as you change, your entire world must change to match your new vibration. Now, let us delve into the power of gratitude in manifesting your biggest comeback. Gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion. It is a powerful creative force. When you are grateful, you are affirming that you already have what you desire. This aligns you with the frequency of your completed comeback, drawing it into your physical experience. Begin and end each day with gratitude for your comeback as if it has already happened. Feel the joy, the relief, the sense of accomplishment. Give thanks for the specific aspects of your comeback, the success, the relationships, the experiences it brings. Make this gratitude so real that you can feel it in every cell of your body. As you do this, you may notice that you begin to feel grateful for your current circumstances, even if they seem far from your desired state. This is a powerful shift. By finding things to appreciate in your present situation, you raise your vibration and become more receptive to the good that is coming to you. Remember, the universe doesn't distinguish between gratitude for what you have and gratitude for what you desire. It responds to the feeling of gratitude itself. So by cultivating an attitude of gratitude, you create a powerful attractive force that accelerates the manifestation of your comeback. As we near the conclusion of our discussion on making your biggest comeback, I want to address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. What if I've tried all this before and it didn't work, my dear friends? If you find yourself thinking this, I want you to consider something profound. The very fact that you're here listening to these words, contemplating the possibility of your comeback, is evidence that your desire for transformation is alive within you. This desire is not your own. It is the universe, God, the divine, whatever name you choose to give it, seeking to express itself through you in a new and expanded way. Your desire for a comeback is a promise of its fulfillment, for you would not have the desire if you did not also have the capacity to achieve it. The presence of the desire is proof of the presence of the capacity to fulfill it. So if you've tried before and didn't see the results you wanted, know this: you have not failed. You have simply been preparing. Every attempt, every setback, every moment of doubt has been shaping you, refining you, making you ready for this moment now. Perhaps in the past, you didn't fully understand the power of your imagination. Perhaps you didn't persist in your assumption long enough. Or perhaps the timing wasn't right, and the universe was arranging circumstances in your favor behind the scenes. Whatever the case, know that all of your past experiences have led you to this moment, where you are now ready to make your biggest comeback. As we come to the end of this talk, I want to leave you with this final thought. Your comeback is not just about you. Yes, it will transform your life in magnificent ways, but more than that, it will impact countless others. As you step into your greatness, as you allow the God within you to express itself fully, you become an inspiration to others. Your comeback becomes a beacon of hope, showing others what is possible when one fully embraces the power of their imagination. So, my dear friends, I challenge you now. Go forth and make your biggest comeback. Live from the state of its completion. Feel it, believe it, become it in your imagination. Persist in this assumption, no matter what your senses may tell you. Release the old, embrace the new, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Remember, you are not merely making a comeback. You are awakening to the truth of who you really are. A divine being, one with the creative power of the universe. Your comeback is your birthright. Claim it now in your imagination, and it must become your reality. Thank you, and may your biggest comeback be even greater than you can imagine.